Hello, so good to meet you at this global motivational meeting. We are reading World Scriptures book to inspire and empower with positive vibe for the day. This holy book are helping billions of people, families, communities, countries, and the whole world, and will help you to just read these quotes and practice daily. As we're reading this book from the beginning, please find all the chapters at our Message to Billion channel. Now we are reading about quality for happy life and reading about love, sacrificial love. True love is sacrificial love. It calls for self-sacrifice in the service of others. Love prompts us to get involved in the knotty problem of the world, give us the strength to bear with the falling and weaknesses of others, and move us to help others regardless of the cost. We have the example of Jesus Christ, who out of love offered his life to redeem sinful humanity. Moses in his time and Muhammad as well endured persecution and exile, risking their lives to enlighten and liberate their people, all for the love of God and humanity. Out of Buddhism comes the figure of the Bodhisattva who owes to devote himself to save all beings. He regards his own happiness as incidental to the happiness of others, and will rather not enjoy the fruits of his own spiritual progress before first liberating others. On this topic, Father Moon described the root of the sacrificial love in God, who invested himself endlessly at the creation to make beautiful home for his children. God, who ever since the fall has continuously and sorrowfully devoted himself as would a loving parent to rescue prodigal humanity from the pits of sin and grief. Such divine love is manifested every day in the human love of parents who willingly sacrifice for their children's future, sacrificing everything, even your life, for the sake of those you love. Greater love has no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. The Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve and give his life as a ransom for many. Therefore, be imitations of God as beloved children, and walk in love as Christ loved us and gave himself up for us. Love will make men dare to die for their love land and woman as well as men. Of this, the daughter of Peleus is a moment to all healers, for she was willing to lay down her life on behalf of her husband when no one else would. By this we know love, that he, Christ, laid down his life for us, and we ought to lay down our lives for the brethren. But if anyone has the world's good and sees his brother in need, yet closes his heart against him, how does God's love abide in him? Little children, let us not love in word or speech, but in deed and in truth. We truly have come for your sake and have borne the misfortune of the world for your salvation. Do you flee the one who has sacrificed his life that you may be quickened? Do you imagine that he seeks his own interest when he has all times, at all times, being threatened by the sword of the enemy, of that he seeks the vanities of the world, after he has been imprisoned in the most desolate of cities? Verily, he has concern to be sorely abasted, that you may attain glory, and yet you are disappointing yourself in the valley of heedless. He, in truth, lived in the most desolate of abodes for your sake, while you dwell in your places. Further, let's read quote from the second Messiah, Father Simon Moon. If I put my life on the line to subjugate evil, then the life-giving love of God will be bestowed upon me. A sacrificial spirit, where for the sake of a neighbor, you can throw away your life as if it were a worthless piece of straw, is exactly true love. Love would not be possible in human being did not have an original nature to sacrifice. We do not think of it as a sacrifice when we sacrifice for someone we love. We feel it is worthwhile, even as we sacrifice more and more. In the course of loving children, parents will sacrifice. No matter how much they sacrifice for their children, they do not take it as painful because the heart of love is contained in their sacrifice. All the energy they expend return to them as stimulating love. The more they give out, the more joy they feel. That is the power by which they can overcome the pain of sacrifice. Likewise, husband and wife may make sacrifice for each other to the point of giving their lives, yet through it all they feel joy and love. They can invest infinitely and feel infinitely joy in return. Sacrifice in itself, it's constructive, it is a minus force. How can one feel joy by becoming diminished from a worldly viewpoint? It is impossible. However, it is possible because of love. Why did God pour out his love? Because without love, nothing returns. Through a relationship of love between subject and object partners, an eternal give and take action is set in motion, which multiplies God's power. Therefore, we can conclude that love establishes eternity. That is why the Bible says that God is love. According to the law of mechanics, the output can never be greater than input. If that were true, where love is concerned, then when God loved, it would drain out all his energy and nothing will return to him. Therefore, he set up the ideal that in loving, the output is greater than the input. Accordingly, through parent-child relationship, through husband-wife relationship, and through brotherly relationship are established through a sacrificial love. The genesis of those relationships depends upon keeping the standard of sacrifice. Children know that their parents truly love them when they sacrifice themselves for them. Although the sacrificial position is a sorrowful one, when the children perfectly appreciate it and return love to the parents can feel more joy. Likewise, a couple that sacrifice for each other find their love constantly renewed, revived by the power of sacrifice. A husband and wife who share their suffering with each other can become one eternally. True friends also are those who sacrifice themselves for each other. The position of love can be established when one sacrifices oneself and gives himself to others. Thus, sacrifice accompanies love. Love embraces all. Love goes beyond the law because it goes beyond the law. Not even death can stand in its way. Love can penetrate any wall, even a wall tens of thousands of years in the making. Though the wall is so strong that no army can invade, love can push its way through safely. The most formidable wall will crumble when you attack it with the weapon of self-sacrifice and investing everything for the sake of love. You should sacrifice the person close to you. What principle has God employed in his effort to restore this world? to save the sinful world and all the wretched people on earth. God sacrifices the person he loved most. God sent his servant as offering, and when time came, God offered up his only son. This has always been the way of God's providence. He sacrificed the most beloved on his side for the sake of Satan's tribe. Can you possibly experience how God must feel to sacrifice his beloved ones to liberate the followers of his worst enemy? Yet he perseveres in this providence for the sake of the world and for the sake of his enemies. Therefore, the entire human race should give God honor and glory. When an individual sacrifices him or herself for the sake of others, the others will recognize him as a virtuous person. If a certain family lives sacrificially for other families, those families will respect it as a virtuous family. If a community sacrifices itself for other community and dedicates its full energy for them, then they will honor it as the most virtuous of communities. Likewise, if a nation seeks to sacrifice itself for all nations in the world, then the other nation will honor that nation as the most noble among nations. This principle is God's will, and God sent Jesus to establish it. Christianity is spread throughout the world. If Christians were living this way, sacrificing their own nations to save other nations, and giving everything they owned for the sake of saving humanity, then surely the churches would today be fulfilling the will of God of goodness. So powerful quotes for today. If you have difficulties, please watch one more time this video. Share this video as we end this billion Happy Life subscribers marathon. Contact me for consultation, cooperation, and become a member of this Heavenly Parents Holy community globally. Wish you a great, happy, blessed day, and see you tomorrow with more powerful quotes. And don't forget to make morning exercise. All the best. Bye-bye. Yours, Coach Nikolai Serpala.